promised you an opportunity to ask some questions, so we want to do that.
Papa, thanks for your story. I'm really fascinated by it. I'm glad you're telling us. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about when your parachute landed, what happened after you landed, and when you got captured.
Well, okay. The Germans had told the police that the police were not to interfere with the people coming from the airplanes, whether they're British or Americans. So we were really at the mercy of the civilians. Again, I was lucky. I encountered a couple of women, and they worked me over, but some of them that landed in the farms got a hold of farmer Fritz, who had pitchforks, and they did considerable damage to the people. When I landed, there was P-30. They have planes going at above level for the security of the top, and then they had some P-38 and P-51s at the lower level, going at what they call target of opportunity. And one of them came down and straight for me. All the 650 calibers go off at once. Well, they sure damaged a row of nice trees that they had. It also, I think, caused people to be a little more angry at us. We were called Roosevelt's gangsters, or Terra Creeds, Terra Air Warrior. And this was in the papers as well as radio and other mass media. But we were Roosevelt's gangsters.
Could you tell just a little bit about your capture by the military and the interrogation and by whom?
Okay, the first, we landed within 2 blocks of SS small garrison there. They had a nice little room with some hay in there, and that's where we stayed most of the first night. Incidentally, the ME-262 pilot came to warehouse and prison, and just wanted to say hi. But we went to what was called a Luft 1, which was an interrogation center close to Frankfurt, Germany. This was all airmen, all nations went through the interrogation center. And frankly, they scared the heck out of us. Like they did me, they grabbed my dog tags and told me to prove who I was. So, didn't have any other identification because we're not supposed to. They'll scare you. They want you to talk. At that time, the code of conduct was to give you name, rank, serial number, and you just keep repeating that and repeating that. And I know the guy wanted to punch me in the face, but he'll scare you. And those that talked, they ganged up on them and really had them talking. So again, at that time, it was name, rank, and serial number.
I can go for another question and go ahead.
Can you describe the day you were released from the POW camp?
So when you POW got out of camp,
When the Russians came in and released you, what was it like?
How did you rescue? Okay.
May 5, 1945, the Russians came in like gangbusters, and they liberated us. They were real nice to us. They brought in a couple of horses and a couple of cows and killed them for us. We had fresh meat. First time in a long time. Incidentally, the Red Cross parcel had spam in it. Spam was good. It's still good. But, the horse meat county was a lot better.
I had a cousin's husband that was flying B-24s out of England, and his body was never found. I just wondered if you have any idea how many Americans sacrificed their lives during the bombing runs.
According to the Air Force Academy, which we got most of our information from, and some of them is a little different, but the air war alone in Europe cost 40,000 Americans to be killed, and about 15,000 seriously injured, and 63,000 MIAs, missing in action. I was one of those that was missing in action. It took my family about 3 months or 2.5 months to find out that I was a prisoner of war of the Germans.
Got a question right over here, young man.
How many years did you serve in the military?
How many years you served in the military?
About 11 years, 11 and a half years. And then I got out, and I'm the first one in the Williamson family to get a college education. That was really good.
Were there any others that were down in your airplane?
Any other saved out of your airplane?
Most all of them were, 9 of them were. One didn't make it. We're fortunate that 9 of them made it out, but 1 of them didn't.
Rest of your crew, did you ever have contact with them after the war?
Oh, yes, yes. Quite often, I'd like to bring up, the skies were not friendly like they are over here. But when you look out there and you see 200 planes out there, you may be in contrail. First group would be in clear weather. So many engines causing contrails that tail end Charlie would be in a light fog. It's amazing. But 2,000 planes, no one can stop this. And just think what it did to the enemy.
2,000 is the right number. He said 200 first, but he meant 2,000.
Yes.
Because they formed up, as he was telling you, like they formed on this airplane, and they had to get together in a group before they left England to fly over the channel and go into Europe.
Can you describe your interaction with the guards as opposed to your fellow prisoners of war?
Some of the guards were good. We had one of them that the wife thinks that Americans killed him after the war. They could have. There was so much of that going around that we don't know. I did have some friends that I think was he was a guard, and he took me out on a number of occasions on work detail, which was good. I wanted to get away from that barbed wire, and a lot of my dealing as ration officer, we got out of the compound. We had to go to a separate building, but we had to open up the Red Cross marshals, take out the pepper. Pepper wasn't good for the dogs, so we had to take the pepper out. We had puncture the Spam, and couldn't hold it aside. They wouldn't let us accumulate our food.
Tell them what the bread is made of.
Oh, we had some black bread. About 8 3/4 pounds per loaf. But as ration officer, as ration officer, you sure got to learn your division and multiplication, because if you got, say, 5.5 loaves of bread, how you gonna split that with 123 people? Very carefully, I'll tell you. The ingredients, the main one that I remember was sawdust. 20% of the bread was sawdust. Hey, not a bad deal, is it?